Good evening and a very, very warm welcome to Dr. Sunil Rajadaksh, Dr. Anisha Navkutkar, Dr. Ruchi Chaturvedi, Professor Ashutosh Saxena, Jehin College students, Father Batol and Salvation Church parishioners, and all our very dear Prana family members and supporters. Our celebrated bard once said, "There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads on to fortune." We are so very grateful. There has been a real high tide in Prana's affairs, dreams, and goals to save lives in this pandemic.
How are you?
It started in July 2020 to make plasma universally accessible to all who need it. And we feel blessed to have helped over 400 recipients pan-India and selflessness of over 200 prana donors. On several occasions, it has been heartening to hear the disappointment of those who could not donate plasma for various eligibility reasons. I really want to be a part of the prana movement and save lives was an oft repeated sentiment. And so, to facilitate these noble thoughts, our prana, gift, love, and life was born, a blood and platelet donation project. And today, with the kindest support of Dr. Pramesh, Dr. Chinnaswamy, Dr. Rajadaksh of Tata Memorial Hospital, Prana is honored to partner the Save a Life project. And so, even as we face this new onslaught of COVID-19, our Prana tide is now afloat on a full sea, releasing a flood of fortune. Our hundreds and most precious Prana plasma and now platelet donors. Many of them are here today. Your dedication and self-sacrifice is the wealth and driving spirit of Prana that we wish to infuse and benefit the cancer patients of Tata Memorial Hospital with. Really very grateful to all of you for being here to share this Step Up for Prana today. Let's learn first from Dr. Anisha Navkutkar how to gift love and life with your platelet donation. If you have any questions, please do post them in the chat box and we will answer them in the question and answer session to follow. Over to you, Dr. Anisha Navkutkar.
Thank you, Dr. Maria. We are really thankful to you, Dr. Maria, and the entire Prana family for being here and helping us to share this session and spread the awareness regarding platelet donation. So without much delay, we shall now go on to the session. Okay, so Save a Life, this campaign was initially started in 2009. And this was with the help of a few foundations who had come forward to help us out. And the foundations were the Gunmanti Kapoor Foundation, Impact Foundation, Nargis Das Memorial Charitable Trust, along with the Department of Pediatric Oncology and Department of Transfusion Medicine. They all came together to build up this campaign called Save a Life. And we shall understand its objective of creating a platelet donor registry of voluntary platelet donors. And how did we build up, and since the last decade, 10 years, how we have come through these challenges to come to a stage where we are building up the voluntary platelet donors. The number has been increasing, the pool has been increasing, and we are really thankful to our dedicated donors who have been coming every time regularly to help us out. So as we all know what blood is made up of plasma, white cells, red cells, and we all know it is produced in our bone marrow. Till date, if we see, though there were blood substitutes, but there is nothing which can replace blood. So only when people like you and me come forward, we can donate blood and make it available for our patients. Now we, as being an oncology center, which has our cancer patients. Now what is cancer? If you ask me, in simple words, cancer is uncontrolled growth of cells. So these uncontrolled growth can be in blood cells, which is called as blood cancer or leukemia. It can be in tissues or organs, which can be called as a tumor. And if you ask me if cancer is curable, I know many of you has this fear in your mind that when you hear this word cancer, the first thing in many of the people's mind come out that yes, I think cancer is a dreadful disease. I mean, the end of life, and I don't know whether it is curable or not. Such kind of things come in people's mind. But let me tell you, cancer is curable. If detected early and treated optimally, cancer is curable. And the treatment modalities varies from surgery, radiotherapy to chemotherapy. Now, what is chemotherapy? We all know chemotherapy kills the cancer cells. Yes, it does. But apart from killing the cancer cells, it also kills the normal cells of the bone marrow, which are the blood cells. And these blood cells are the red cells, white cells, and platelets. And we know the function of these cells, right? The red cells has hemoglobin, which carries oxygen to various parts of our body. The white cells, these are the first line of defense. I mean, whenever a microorganism invade your body, so to fight off the infection, the white cells are required. And platelets, these are the tiny cells of our body, which are very crucial. If there is any bleeding, these are the cells which first come to the site and plug it and stop the bleeding. So just think, if platelets are not there, then what might happen? If there is an internal or external bleeding, and if platelets are not available, the patient might bleed to death. And this is where the chemotherapy strikes the hardest. The platelets are affected. Along with the other cells, the platelets are affected most. And chemotherapy thus decreases the blood cells, that hemoglobin, the platelet count during the chemotherapy treatment. Now, you must ask, why do we need platelets? I mean, we have enough amount of platelets in our body. Yes, we do have. The normal platelet count in any healthy individual, if you see, it is around 1.5 to 4.5 lakhs in per ml of your blood. And any healthy individual has around 4 to 5 liters of blood. So you can just imagine 4,000 to 5,000 ml of blood will have what quantity of platelets. So you just have a treasure in your body, which is a vast quantity of platelets being running in your body each day. And donating just a fraction will cause no harm to your body, but it can definitely save somebody's life. And that is why this precious thing which is there in your body needs to be shared with the people who needs most. Now, if you see, God has made our body in such a way that our platelet counts, if it falls from 4 lakh to 3 lakh to 2 lakh to even 50,000, the body has an absolute wonderful coping mechanism to bear this. But when it falls below 10,000, even though there are no symptoms visible, this is an absolute emergency, because this is a condition where patient might be bleeding from internally. We are not knowing about it. And this absolute emergency must be taken care of. And that is where we must have platelets available on the shelf for ready to use. So let me tell you, back in 2009, we had this patient, Shambhu, who had come from a village from UP, along with his elder brother who is standing behind. We have taken the patient's consent to share this slide. And this kid was diagnosed with a blood cancer called as lymphoma. He had 4 or 5 more siblings, and his parents stayed back to his village to take care of the other sibling. Somehow this elder brother got this patient here in Mumbai, in a city of Mumbai, which has so many challenges of accommodation, transport, stay, treatment, everything. How TMH, everything, and the treatment was started. Now this patient's treatment was going well, But on one weekend, I mean, it was a fateful weekend, I would say, for us, that the patient's platelet count dropped to less than 10,000, and the patient had an internal brain hemorrhage, and in a few days, we lost the patient. Now, this is not to make you emotional. Why we have been pressing upon this is, one, this is a true story. Second, because the patient had fought against everything, all the challenges were faced, and the treatment was started. But on that single day, we couldn't support the patient with platelets. Back in 2009, it was very difficult. I mean, I feel so bad to say that in a city of Mumbai, of millions of population, there wasn't a single donor who could come and donate platelets for this patient on that particular day. Had the platelets been available on shelf, maybe we could have saved this patient. And this is how the initiative was started, with the requirement looking at Tata Hospital, where each year we have 60 to 70,000 new patient registration each year in Tata. The requirement of blood components is so much. And out of these, half of the patients are detected by cancer, like blood cancers, which during the course of the chemotherapy treatment, and the period of this treatment can last anywhere between 6 months to 2 years. And during this entire course, if the patient is not supported with blood and blood components, it can be detrimental to the patient. So if you see, how much do we need platelets? In past 2-3 years, the requirement of our platelets have been increasing. And in past year, we have crossed more than 4,000 to 5,000 SDPs, or the single donor platelet requirement in TMH, along with 15 to 20,000 random donor platelets which were issued to our patients. And we are really grateful we could do this with the help of our voluntary platelet donors who have been regularly coming to Tata Hospital to donate platelets. And this is how we started this initiative back in 2009 with the NGO partners, with the whole and soul basic objective to provide platelets to all our patients who are admitted in Tata, with the onus of arranging platelets not to be put on the patient or relatives or his family members, to make sure that they receive platelets with the help of our volunteers who could come and donate platelets for them. And this is how we started organizing the awareness sessions in corporates, colleges, residential complexes, started giving lectures, made people aware about this concept of platelet donation, and addressed their queries, enrolled them, came forward for donation, and we started building up our voluntary platelet donor registry. So this was in pre-COVID times. Don't get scared about the crowd. This was in pre-COVID times, though in COVID times, presently we are doing virtual sessions. Now, you must be thinking, what is the difference between this blood donation and platelet donation? How is it different? And what does it make special for this platelet donation? And I think many of you must have donated blood in past, or at least witnessed the blood donation. So blood donation, if you see, it is a simple procedure. It takes about 15-20 minutes, and your blood is taken out you in a bag, and that is processed later, and you donate, you have snacks, and you leave. While platelet donation, it takes little bit of your time, because this happens only in a hospital on a specialized equipment called as apheresis machine. So it takes about 1 to 1.5 hours for this procedure to be completed. Now, blood donation, like I mentioned, it can happen anywhere. That means you can either donate in the hospital, or you can donate at outdoor blood donation camps as well. But platelet donation, it can only take place in a hospital where the machines are available. Blood donation, you can donate anytime. Like, the shelf life of blood is around 5 to 6 weeks. So we can store the blood for that period of time. But if you see platelets, we cannot pile it up, because the shelf life of platelets is just 5 days. So we need to ensure that we need to anticipate the need and keep it, or store the platelets as according to the need. Blood donation, you can donate every 3 to 4 months, but platelet donation, since we take only the required quantity of platelets and the remaining blood components are returned back to you, you can even donate platelets at an interval of every 15 days. So now this point makes it special, because one blood donation, if you see from a whole blood, we do prepare components. But the platelets prepared from that whole blood is a very small quantity of platelets. that is called as RDP, that is random donor platelets. But a single donor platelet, that is the donor when he donates platelets on a machine, that is called a single donor platelet, that are concentrated platelets. And that one single donor platelet bag is equivalent to your 6 to 8 whole blood donors. So the platelets which we procure from 6 to 8 blood donors is equivalent to your one single platelet donor, and that makes it more important for the platelet donation. More so, we are exposing the patient to one single donor as compared to 6 to 8 whole blood donors. So that is the importance of platelet donation. Now, who can donate platelets? If you ask, each one of you can either donate platelets or can help us to spread the awareness of donating platelets. So each single one of you can contribute in this campaign. And if you ask, there are certain criteria for donating platelets. Yes, there are. So anybody in good health in the age group of 18 to 55 years, though that can be extended to another 5 years if the donor is donating regularly up to 55 years. The weight should be more than 50 kg, hemoglobin count, which we check at the center, it should be more than 12.5 gram per DL. Vein status, because the procedure takes about an hour or so, the needle has to sit into the vein, so the vein status of the donor should be good enough, and the blood pressure should be within the normal limits. So these are the basic criteria, apart from the other things which we ask when we screen the donors during the medical examination. Now, this is how it is exactly done. You can see this is one of our donors who is happily donating, and this is the apheresis equipment which I was talking about. So blood is drawn from the donor. It is taken into the centrifuge. So what we use here is a disposable kit. So this is a sterile single-use disposable kit which is disposed of after every single use. So for each donor, we have one kit which is utilized. So the blood is taken from the, drawn from the donor, it goes to the machine, it separates into components. The component which is required, that is platelets, is taken out along with small amount of plasma, and the remaining blood component are returned back to the donor again. So if you see, unlike in blood donation, you donate the entire blood, whole blood, which is all components, but here we take only platelets, and the remaining components are given back to the donor. That is how it is. The frequency of platelet donation can be done every 15 days if you're quite.
Want to hear it? No.
See, this is one of our donors who have donated.
No more disturbance. I am not bothered about all your sophistication.
Can I go ahead? So what we generally do is, during the awareness sessions, we register our donors on that particular day. In the pre-COVID times, when we used to have in-person sessions, we used to take the blood samples of the donors and take it back to the department to test it. And whenever the need arises, we test the donor, ensure that the donor is eligible for donation, intimate the donors, and when the need arises, we give them a call with the help of our coordinators or social workers whenever the requirement of particular group arises. And we request you to come here and donate your platelets. So that takes about 1 to 2 hours of your time. Now people have so many assumptions that maybe this will make you weak, it can have some infections, pain, the time. So let me tell you, platelet donation will not cause any weakness. Since you're donating in a controlled environment, you're like you saw in the picture, we are always, the doctors are always around the donors, ensuring that the donor is taken care of. Infections, there are no chances of infection because this is a sterile, single, disposable kit, and it is a closed environment. So there is no chance of having exposed to the external environment. So there is no chance of infection. Pain, yes, at the needle prick site, you might get a little pain, but I think that is okay for you to donate when you know that you're going to save somebody's life. And yes, your time, your precious time is required because you have to come down to the hospital, and the traveling time and the donation time is what is required here. Now, this is how we have evolved since last decade. We have been looking for angels like you who could come ahead and be a part of this and be our dedicated platelet donors and donate regularly. So for looking for the dedicated platelet donors, we moved from colleges to corporates. Then we formed the structured process of our coordinators and guides. We even simplified the flexible timings, weekends, even some days when we don't have blood donation camps, we keep on Sundays for our donors. And this is how we formed a Save a Life Angels Club. Now, this is our journey from 2009 to 2020. And let me tell you, in 2009, we had just 11% of our voluntary platelet donors. And the others were the family donors like patients, relatives, or friends who used to come and donate. And only 11% were the voluntary donors. And we are so, with the untiring efforts of the Save a Life team, we have now reached to 97% of our voluntary donation. Now, this is the last stretch where we need to push us hard and come to the 100% and keep maintaining the 100% voluntary donation, with the owners not being put on the patient or their relatives to arrange platelets or blood from anywhere. So what did we do in this COVID pandemic? Because people were literally scared as what will happen. The traveling was there, so many concerns was there. But we added all the queries of our donors. We maintained safety of the donors, patients, staff. To avoid the overcrowding, we ensured that the appointments were given to our donors with the help of traveling letters to make the arrangements, travel arrangements easy. And then the donation was done in a disciplined manner. So this was done by the prior appointment so that each donor gets adequate time and they did not have to wait for longer times in the department. So this is how our Save a Life Angels Club was built up. So many donors, so many smiling faces you can see here who have been donating so regularly with us. And we expect you to be the next one here and keep our donor pool increasing, and we ensure that we meet our 100% voluntary donation target and keep it in that way. This is how we are doing it in the COVID times. Our donors are more than happy to come and follow all the precautions and donate platelets here. And give a smile on our patients' faces. So this is how the Save a Life was built up. This is the contact number of our coordinators, Bhavna and Ganesh, and the email ID, and our Facebook page is also there. You can visit that and you can see our platelet donors who have been donating regularly here. So this is here I end my session, and I'll be happy to take any questions and discuss anything further.
Thank you, Dr. Navkutkar, for sharing Save a Life's journey since 2009 and the need and benefits of platelet donation for cancer patients at Tata Memorial Hospital, and especially your pediatric patients. Y'all are doing incredibly good work. And as I said, Prana is really honored now to be able to help you to run that extra mile. We in our pool are fortunate to have Prana plasma donors who have also been donating platelets in addition to plasma. One of them is here today, who is a regular Tata Memorial Hospital donor, Prakash, a 60th time platelet donor this month, and a triple Prana plasma champion. He's dedicated and committed to saving lives, even as he works to send numerous plasma donors our way. Prakash will also now help coordinate our Prana platelet donations for Save a Life. Over to you, Prakash.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah, good evening, everyone. First of all, congratulations, Dr. Maria, for taking such a good initiative. And thank you, Dr. Anisha, for explaining in such a simple manner so that each and everyone can understand very well. I'm a regular platelet donor, but I just would like to share my experience that being a part of a Prana gives me an immense pleasure. During my initial donations, I realized that how crucial platelets are for the treatment of cancer patients. And unlike blood donations, there are many criteria that applies for platelet donor. Like examples, you have to be more healthy to give platelets regularly. Examples, if you are taking an antibiotic, you can't give platelets for 15 days. If you are doing a tattoo, then you can't give platelets for 3 months. So there are many criterias on which we need to fit to give a regular platelets, on a regular basis. So in order to help others, according to me, one needs to be more fit and healthy for himself. Otherwise, you can't give up platelets on a regular basis. Because I have seen the peoples around me who are, despite of their willingness, they are unable to donate because they are not able to fit in that criteria. So I see this as an opportunity to give myself thriving to remain in this criteria for donations. And in a way, you are taking better care of yourself to save others' life without compromising on your own. And according to me, when I'm telling you a recent example, when I was donating a plasma during the lockdown also on a regular basis. And unfortunately, when I donated at Lilavati hospitals, I infected with COVID. And after COVID, I got a chance to donate plasma. And that was another opportunity for me to help others in a different way. And thank you, Dr. Maria, because I was not aware about the plasma too much. And then I came to know the plasma is so crucial for... Hello?
Yes, please carry.
Yeah. So that time I come to know the importance of plasma, because that plasma anti-COVID body cannot be in your body for a longer time. It should be at least maximum three months. It survive, and after that it becomes decreasing a lot. So after there was a conversation with the Dr. Maria, and she convinced me for a plasma. I donated plasma for 3 to 4 times, and that was the I felt very blessed when I donated plasma for COVID patients along with platelets for cancer patients. And the important part, when I received a message from the patient's relatives who are kind enough to wish me a luck for my compassionate work, and this gives me an immense pleasure. And I'm donating plasma. The reason is that I firmly believe in giving back to my community and others. Another important thing, I'm donating plasma because I can and others can't, despite of their willingness.
Thank you, Prakash.
Thank you, ma'am.
For your experience and for your kind words for Prana. We hope you have inspired many potential donors in the audience to be the one who sees the hurting of others and to give with your platelet donation.
Thank you.
Also here with us is Dr. Lalit Dantole, who has the unique distinction of being a blood bank chief at Fortis Hospital, as well as a prana plasma and platelet donor. Do tell us about your experience, please. Dr. Dantole?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you, ma'am, for inviting me over here on this platform. And I would take an opportunity to thank Mr. Prakash, as he donated plasma as well as platelet at our hospital at least twice, I think, twice or thrice. So I have been a regular platelet donor since I think 2013 when I joined MD. Post that I have been donating. I mean, I don't keep a count of it, but it's more than 20 times, I think. So it's really a great initiative which you have started right now. So during this lockdown period, people got to know the importance of collecting convalescent plasma, and you were in forefront in this region, in Mumbai as well as in other regions, who actually coordinated with other donors and help patient who actually needed convalescent plasma. Now you have a donor pool which actually can become a potential platelet donors, and that's the thing which you are actually carrying out right now, and it's actually a very noble cause. Uh, as of platelet donations and all these processes are concerned, these are very safe donations, and I actually think this is one of the best noble thing which can actually be done by each and every healthy individual. And I would really request everybody who are eligible donors to please come and come to any blood center and donate platelets or plasma for donors for patients who are actually in need. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dantole. Your overwhelming generosity in donating both plasma and sometimes double unit platelets is really appreciated in being a lifesaver to so many.
Thank you.
Now for the moment you have all been waiting for, the launch of Gift of Life and Love, partnering with Save a Life. I invite Dr. Sunil Radharyaks to do the honors, please. He is the Chief of Transfusion Medicine at Tata Memorial Hospital and has been a rock and pillar to Prana since we joined hands with the Federation of Bombay Blood Banks for plasma donation last year. Although this will be a virtual ribbon cutting, we do hope this is the start to a flood of donations to help Save a Life reach their magic 100% in voluntary donors very soon. Over to you, Dr. Sunil Radharyaks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Maria. I really appreciate your energy, your efforts, your enthusiasm, your passion. I've seen you working as, my junior in the medical college, Nair Hospital, and even now years later. And let me tell you, I think Prana is the very apt name for your organization. The kind of not only energy, but life energy that you infuse into any kind of setup. So we welcome Prana to Save a Life, which already has Nargis Dutt Memorial Cancer Trust, the Impact Foundation, the G.J. Kapoor, Gunwanti J. Kapoor Foundation, as part of Save a Life, partnering with Tata Memorial. So I take this opportunity before the launch, I would say, to thank Dr. Maria, her team, Prana, for infusing life energy into this particular effort or project, as we say. As also the various, platelet donors are committed, platelet and plasma donors, along with the various ambassadors we have. So thanks to all of you who are here, participants, the donors, platelet donors, plasma donors, committed donors, blood donors, as well as the ambassadors, I would say. The first thing I would want to mention here is a lot of us know about blood donation, but when you talk about platelet donations, many of them don't seem to know what exactly it is. And then you talk of hooking on a donor to a machine, they're a little hesitant, they're apprehensive. So just to once again reiterate what Dr. Anisha said, in very short, platelets are the cells that bring about blood clotting. So if there's anything in the blood that stops your blood flowing out, it is the platelets, right? So they're like a parachute. If you don't have platelets and you need them, for example, in dengue, the platelet count comes down. Somebody is bleeding, say a mother after delivery is bleeding. Very often, unless you give platelets, the patient cannot be saved, even if you give units and units, bags and bags of blood. So platelets are like a parachute which save lives. When it comes to blood donation, I remember Khalil Gibran's quote, where he says, when you give off your possessions, you give off but a little. It is when you give off yourself, it is when you really give. God has made man And man has been able to make man in the laboratory. Man can create a life today in the laboratory. I don't need to tell you, many of you might be science students. But man has not been able to create blood yet in the laboratory. When I took up this field more than about 35 years ago, I was told artificial blood is coming within 5 years. And that was as way back in the late 80s. And till today, we have not been able to create artificial blood to satisfaction. We still need blood and platelets and many other cells from the human body, even plasma, that is required in various settings. Now, platelets are something which are required in a great quantity. I mean, a patient can be given 1 to 2 units of blood, but when it's platelets, generally an adult patient requires about 6 to 8 units of platelets, which means about 6 to 8 donors just for one patient. And if you consider the need of Tata Memorial Hospital, one oncology center, we would need more than about 200 to 250 donors every day just for platelets. Multiply that by about 300 plus days in a year, and you'll know what the requirement is. So therefore, we have this SDP, as it is called, single donor platelets, where the same donor can be taken within a fortnight again, twice a month. That's about 24 times a year. And at one time, that donor can give about 6 to 8 units. So theoretically, when you're giving blood, say once in 3 months, that's for males, and once in 4 months for females. For males, once in 3 months, 1 unit of platelets you get from the blood that you collect. Whereas theoretically, if you see for platelets, which can even be given, say, once or twice a week in an emergency, not regularly, it is theoretically about 200 plus times as effective. And platelets have a very short shelf life, just 5 days. So if you make many and they're not required within 5 days, you might waste them. And if you don't have them on the shelf, when you require them, it's like a parachute. They're no use later, right? So I would just like to say we've got gold in our blood to save a life. You don't need to be a firefighter. You don't need to be a lifeguard, a doctor, or a nurse to save a life. Every 15 days, you can save at least 1 or 2 lives. And just count that per year, you can save at least about 50 lives. Just by giving a little bit of your time, about 1 hour on the machine. So I would appeal to everybody to please come forth. I'm very happy there are a lot of youngsters also who will not only be donors for life, but they will even probably be ambassadors spreading the word. And we have quite a few ambassadors here who go about appealing, motivating the others. We've got so many platelet donors in Tata Memorial who are centurion donors, even more than 100 times. We even have double centurion donors. So just to say that platelet donation is very safe, care is taken to see that it is not risky or harmful to the donor, that it is effective and safe for a patient. So today, I'm very happy that Prana is joining in, because I would just like to say that in cancer especially, besides other conditions of course, even if doctors do their best, you have the best treatment available, the best technology available, you have the resources, finances available, the limiting factor is blood and especially platelets. If you give cancer treatment called as chemotherapy, the platelets go down, the platelet count goes down. And if it goes down to a precarious level, unless you give platelets, the patient would bleed and you cannot continue treatment. So treatment comes to a halt. And that's the very reason that we need platelets to be available to even treat cancer. In Tata Memorial, the need is double that of the entire city in a year. So Tata Memorial needs more than about 6,000 units of SDPs in a year, but the whole of Mumbai does not need more than say 2,500 to 3,000. That's what the need is. So unless you have platelets available, doctors cannot do anything. And God forbid, but we never know who the next patient will be. Your friend, your acquaintance, you yourself, God forbid again. It's a matter of chance, I would say. So I think this is a kind of a social obligation that we all have to try and help say the blood centers, to help ourselves, because you don't have things ready on the shelf if suddenly required. If you want to know the need of blood, not just platelets, it's close to about 14 million in a year in India. Every 2 or 3 seconds, somebody needs blood, and not even more than 5% of donors donate in a year. And probably because they never knew it is required. It's only when one of their, acquaintances or relatives is sick that they are told, they come to know about it. But all of us can donate blood every 3 months. Women can donate every 4 months, and platelets more frequently, definitely every fortnight. So having said this, I welcome Prana, the organization, into the fold of Save a Life for this noble cause, especially of making adequacy of platelets a reality. And if Dr. Maria says so, I'll cut a virtual ribbon right now to launch the platelet movement. Thank you, Dr. Maria.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Sunil. Riddhi, would you please play the video for the cutting? Please give us a minute. We've just arranged a small little video as a virtual ribbon cutting by Dr. Sunil. You can continue to speak.
Gives me great pleasure, Dr. Maria, all your team, and all those present here. I think we all need to work together to make this a success. Good luck to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil, for cutting our launch ribbon and for all the encouragement and support for Prana as we step up to your needs with Save a Life. Dr. Sunil and Dr. Anisha will now be answering questions. If you have posted any, I have a few which have been sent to me ahead of time, which I will start off with. The first one is there a need for matching to a blood group, like in blood or plasma donation? Do platelets need to be donated to match the blood group of a recipient, please?
I think Dr. Anisha can take most of the questions and bounce off some to me. Thank you, Dr. Anisha.
So for this question, Dr. Maria, as somebody must have asked this, yeah, for the as far as blood is concerned, we need to give group specific blood to the patients. But as far as platelets are concerned, there is no hard and fast binding that we need to give group specific platelets only. But for our patients, we try and stick to the group specific platelets for our patients, and accordingly we maintain our inventory. So I hope that answers the question.
Yes, yes, thank you. The next question is, perhaps Dr. Sunil has answered in part, but if you could tell them more about how often one can donate platelets when he talks about centurion donors. How did they go about reaching their target, please?
So, as per regulations, one can donate platelets at the most twice a week, but not more than 24 times a year. So if you see for 24 times a year, the safe range of frequency of interval, or you say 15 days for a regular donors, is the safe interval which we generally follow. So 15 days is what we can stick to if a donor wants to complete that 24 times a year and he or she is a regular donor, healthy. So 15 days a gap is what we can follow. But not more than twice a week and not more than 24 times a year is what the regulations say.
Thank you. Another question is, how long does a platelet donation take and what would be my time commitment?
If you ask about the procedure per se, it takes about 1 to 1.5 hours for the procedure to be completed. But if you include the traveling times, so it depends on where the donor is staying. So that if you see, then it might take a longer time depending on where the donor stays. But the procedure per se, it takes about an hour or so, or 1 to 1.5 hours.
The next question is from a female donor. Will I be allowed to donate during my menstrual period, or are there some restrictions?
So during the period of menstruation, the female donors are deferred for that period. So that is whatever 5 days period they are deferred. Temporary deferral. They can resume again after the period of menstruation. And if they satisfy the criteria and fulfill the hemoglobin range and all, then they can come ahead and donate blood or platelets. So that 5 days of menstruation period, they are deferred. Otherwise, they can come and donate platelets.
This from a person who is borderline diabetic. What are the rules for donation by a donor who is diabetic?
If the donor is diabetic and he or she is on medication, that is oral medications, and the diabetes is controlled. So we need to check the sugar levels of the donor. If it is controlled on oral medication, the donor can donate platelets or blood. But if the donor is on insulin injections, then the donor is deferred for the donations. So oral medications and control level of sugars, the donor can donate blood or platelets.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Anisha. And I have one more question. Similar to the one for a diabetic, what about those from
Dr. Maria, I couldn't hear you properly. Can you please repeat the question once again?
I am someone who has high BP, which is controlled with medication. Would that limit my ability to donate?
No. If the person is hypertensive or having high blood pressure, but it is controlled on medication and the range for the blood pressure, like I mentioned in one of the slides, if it is systolic 100 to 140, diastolic 60 to 90 mm of Hg, controlled on medications, the donor can donate platelets or blood. So that is not a deferral for donation, but even if the donor is on medication and the blood pressure is not controlled, then we need to defer the donor for that time.
Thank you, Dr. Anisha. The next question is, platelets help to control bleeding. Will I lose my capacity to control bleeding?
Can I just come in to answer that question, Anisha?
Sure,
just
sir.
to break the monotony, nothing
Sure,
else.
sir, sure.
Well, just to say that we have got surplus of platelets. And when we give platelets, those platelets which are in the spleen, they're released. So when you give platelets, you just hardly give about 20 to 30% of what volume there is in the body. And within about 6 to 8 hours, those platelets are thrown back into the circulation. Your normal count is about 1.5 to 4.5 lakhs per cubic millimeter. So unless the platelet count drops drastically to less than about 20,000 per cubic millimeter, you don't have any chance of any risk of bleeding. And even when you have a minimum count that is taken for you to donate platelets of 1.5, consider 30% loss. It doesn't come down below 1 lakh. Right, so you're way away from any chance, and that also within a few hours the platelets are thrown back into the circulation. So there's no chance, in short, whatsoever about vulnerability or a chance or a propensity towards bleeding or clotting not stopping. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil. And last two questions that we have. One is, if I am taking any drugs for psychiatric reasons, would I be allowed to donate platelets?
When you see psychiatric medications, there is a lot, this is a blanket thing. So there are so many medications under that. And there are so many conditions, different conditions where these medications are taken. So we cannot pinpoint on one single thing, okay, psychiatric medications accepted, not accepted. So we need to find out what the condition is, which drugs are being taken by the donor. And there is a list of guidelines given by the Drug and Cosmetic Act, which we generally follow, which we follow always. So that is there. And when we speak to the donor, we can find out from the donor what all things are there, and then we can address the issue. So I wouldn't comment on yes or no here. Maybe I would like to ask, whoever has asked the question, they can call us on our helpline number at Tata, and we'll be happy to help them and address their queries.
And the last question, of course, coming from our young student body. If I've had a recent tattoo, would I be able to donate blood or platelets?
Tattoo is a temporary deferral. We have a 12-month deferral period for tattoo. So considering that, that is just a temporary deferral. If anybody has done the tattoo, then that deferral period, once it is gone, they can come back and re-enter the donor pool.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anisha, Dr. Sunil. I think you've cleared many doubts. And to close this evening's webinar, we have a short take-home presentation. Riddhi, may I request you to start the PowerPoint, please? So here we are, saving lives together, Save a Life and Prana, gifting love and life through this absolutely magnanimous pool of donors that we have managed to get registered with us since the pandemic began. Next slide, please. Our next step would be for each and every one of you here today, and also to take it home to your families, to make a Prana platelet pledge, to somehow decide, perhaps even if it is just once in this year, to make that trip to Tata Memorial Hospital and donate platelets, please. This is an earnest plea. We want to help Save a Life reach 100% soon. So let's do it. As Dr. Sunil said, you have the gold within you. You have the power within you, and only you can take yourself to Tata Memorial and make that donation. Next slide, please. So the next steps would be to register with Prana either on our website through this link, which you have perhaps received as part of the WhatsApp or email invitation for today's webinar. And otherwise, it is posted on our Instagram and Facebook posts as well. So please do click on that link on our website or on this link in your phones and register today. Before the night is over, please do register today. Carry this message to your family members and get them to register as well, please. Next slide. Once again, just recapitulating what Dr. Sunil and Dr. Anisha have been saying on the restrictions. These are very basic criteria, but 18 to 55-year-olds, more than 55 kgs. In the pink of health, you need to be pink with your hemoglobin above 12.5 or work yourselves to get there. In good health, and not be taking any regular prescription medicines. Again, Dr. Anisha mentioned that you would be evaluated on a case-to-case basis and then decide whether you would be eligible or not. Next slide, please. Do get in touch with Prana, the Jai Hind student body, and many names that I saw getting admitted to the webinar. Thank you for being here. Do contact Prana to learn more. You can call me personally or leave a message for us on Instagram or Facebook. Our website also has a lot of information on platelet donation. So do stay in touch with us and contact us to learn more. And again, Our very, very deep appreciation and gratitude to Tata Memorial Hospital, the Save a Life team, Dr. Sunil, Dr. Anisha, for enlightening us on how we can be the drop of change in the lives of your cancer patients as platelet donors. Very sincerely grateful for all the cooperation from Save a Life partners, both the Gunvanti Kapoor and the Impact Foundation. Prana looks forward to working together with you to breathe more life into platelet donations. As always, all of our donors, our recipient family members, Prana supporters, Prana warriors as we call them, and you're welcome to come and join and volunteer with Prana. And especially our creative team, they've really worked hard to put this webinar together today. A big thank you to you too. Thank you again, Dr. Ruchi, Professor Ashutosh, all you wonderful Jai Hind students, Father Barthol and the Salvation Parish, and each and every one of you here today. Please remember, Prana cares for you beyond blood, platelets, or plasma. Stay home, stay safe, stay masked. Do follow our Prana Pan India posts on our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And hope you can benefit from all those messages of safety, positivity, and self-care. To close, I quote something from my late mother's last diary entry. I shall pass this way but once. Any good that I can do, let me do it now, for I shall not pass this way again. Do it now, dear friends and students. Now is your chance to save a life with Prana for Tata Memorial Hospital. Thank you for being such a wonderful audience, and have a great rest of the evening.